Yes guys, and we're back. So, what we're going to be sowing through February? Well, we're going to start with our peppers and chilies. Now, last year we did neglect growing. We just bought a few plants already done, but we weren't that bothered because the freezer was already full from the year before, and I think we've still got some in there. But this year we have ramped it up with our peppers, well, mainly the chilies, to be fair. We eat quite a lot of peppers. So we've ordered a few from Baker Creek in America, some heirloom varieties, and we've got a pack of free ones there, which I don't think I've ever grown any of these, to be fair. In fact, I haven't grown any of these, but they look pretty good. I mean, they look pretty nasty as well. I mean, look at that, Apocalypse Scorpion. You can see that there. Looks pretty nasty, doesn't it? Looks like it'll give you a bit of ring sting, that one. So I think a couple of them in my green tomato chutney later in the season will be bang on. Bit hot for me just like that, but we'll make some sauces or I'll add it to something. So anyway, we're going to have a shot with them. We've got some Craig's Grande jalapeno. Now we love that. We love jalapenos. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So what we'll do with them? Stuff them with cheese. Sounds good, doesn't it? A little snack in the summer. Well, late summer. But I don't really know. We're not really big into growing chilies. But this year I might devote one greenhouse. We've got 5 this year. I might devote one greenhouse for chilies and peppers, just solely, and obviously some flowers in there as well. But yeah, we've got them. Is it Biquino Yellow? They were free then with the order. I mean, they look cool anyway, if nothing else. How hot they are, I do not know. It doesn't say. No, it's just a hint of heat, it says on the back. So we'll see with that one. I'm a bit on the fence. And the last one is Shishito. Another new one. They look cool anyway. I just thought they looked cool. So they look quite good. You see the charming on them that they've done there. I don't know if you can see with the light. A bit weird with the light in here. But yeah, so they look good, and we'll give them a shot. So I'm going to show you just how shitey the weather is. Although I don't know if we put it on there, but it's looking cool. A couple of weeks after we did it. See, this is how desperate we get. That we do house jobs. You see out there, it's bloody freezing. I've got a hoodie on. So yeah, good old rainy Derbyshire. Sorry, freezing Derbyshire. Don't look much, does it? But this year we're going to be sorting out that planter at the front. We've got some fruit trees in it and around the back, but I'm going to try and put a bit of food in that. I'm going to put a lot of perennials in. I'm going to get it looking good, and yeah, we're going to get it sorted out so it's looking like a focal point from the house. But less of the garden and back to the seeds. Let's have a look at what tomatoes we're going to be sowing soon. Right, I'll kick it off with the ones we've ordered from Neil off Instagram. Neil Radford tomatoes. So we've got a few packs there. Some we've grown before, but some new ones as well. So we've got First Mate. I don't know if you can see the picture of that. You know, if you can see that there. It's a new one to us. I quite like. Do you know what? One thing I do like about tomatoes, especially the heirloom ones, is the colour, the texture, obviously the flavour. Some of them are not as nice as the others, but I like, obviously, you eat with your eyes as well as your taste buds. And I like the different variations in colours, sizes, shapes, textures as well, to be fair. And when you slice them up on, we like making a panzanella, or even, what else do we make? The panzanella, we sometimes have them just with mozzarella cut up, sliced, and I like the variations of different tomatoes. So that looks like a cool one, in my eyes anyway. We've grown this before, Purple Sunrise. It's not a new one to us, we like it. It's almost purpley with the yellow going through it, if you can see there. It's a nice one, tastes nice, looks nice. I do like the bit of yellow contrast with obviously all the darker ones, and then your red ones in there, and some of your different sizes as well, and they're quite a big one. So that is a win-win for us. Amethyst Jewel, another belter, absolute belter. When did we grow this? I don't think we grew it last year, it might have been the year before. But this year I'm going to make more of a conscious effort to save the seeds, because these heirloom varieties, you only need to take a couple of tomatoes, save the seeds, dry them out, put them in an envelope, and then you don't have to be buying more and more seeds. And then obviously next year I'll buy some others and keep my own collection. I think that's what I'm going to do moving forward. So yeah, Amethyst Jewel. If you're not growing them, get on them. One of the favourites here. We've grown this every year for the last like 4 or 5 years now. Black Beauty, I think you've all grown that. You must have. It is an absolute stunner of a tomato. Sliced up, oh, I'm just dreaming now how nice some of these. In fact, we've got some in the freezer in the garage that we got out for some pizza sauce the other week, and I roasted them down with some balsamic and some basil and a bit of olive oil, extra virgin, and blended it up and put it on our homemade pizzas, and they were absolutely divine. So this is your cue. If you've not got any Black Beauty for this year, get some ordered. Get some ordered now, because we want to be sowing them soon. Blueberry dessert. Now, I've never grown that one. You can see on there. Blueberry dessert. I mean, it looks like a cross between a few of the ones I've grown before, to be fair. So I'm quite hopeful of what it'll be like, but it looks amazing to me. I do like that. I love the dark with the red. I think that's probably one of my favourites. So we'll see how that is, and we'll report back later in the year with that one. But we'll get them sown. We'll get them sown soon anyway. It's a bit too early for us just yet, but we will get them done soon. And this one, I don't know, it was the picture that struck me on this one. Sergeant Pineapple. I don't think I've grown that one. I think I've grown something similar, but not that one. So I like the cross section of that. It's got a bit of a different shape as well, but you see the cross section with it's got like the dark orange, sort of almost red inside, to the light orange on the outside, and then you've got the purple, that anthracite colour, whatever it is, on the outside. It's like purpley sort of, I don't even know what colour that is, I can't really see. It's almost like a blacky purple, but it looks good. And I think it'll be perfect accompaniment in my tomato salad in the summer, because we live off the tomatoes. So that's the seeds we've ordered from Neo Radford. Let's have a look what we've got from Baker Creek. Right, Baker Creek. Now I like she grows veg as well. I might have to do another order, but I think it's one of them things. Tomatoes. It's where do you stop? I could pick probably 60, 70, 80 varieties of tomato, and where the hell do you put them all? I mean, I think last year we had about 70 to 80 plants overall. This year though, I'm going to make more of a conscious effort to growing them outside as well. So I've not been doing that recently. I think the year before we grew some outside, the weather was crap, it rained a lot. Last year was nice and hot through the middle of summer when we had the drought, which would have been perfect so long as I watered them. But we didn't actually grow any outside. So this is my little reminder to myself that we're going to be sowing some for outside growing. And we'll do a bit of a comparison. I think I'm going to record plants and what each plant is in the book, and I might get myself a set of scales and we'll record what the yield is in and outside from the same, obviously, variety, same seed sown, and do a couple of them and see just how more productive it is growing it in a polytunnel or even a greenhouse as well, so we can compare that and then see what works best moving forward. Be a bit more technical over here. Go on. So, kicking it off, we're going to go with the micro tomatoes. Now, I'm not really into these micro tomatoes, but I'm seeing some people online growing them, and they're having them obviously in the house through the winter and stuff. You're not going to get tons of tomatoes on them. They're probably not going to be they're definitely not going to be as nice as the ones we're growing summer, but they're always going to be better than the shite they're serving up in supermarkets. So, you know, we're giving them a go. I might get some of these little terracotta pots and just put them places around the garden. We've got that Wendy house thing up in the garden, so there's a little veranda, so we might put some on that. They'll get quite a lot of sun. Just keep them at home, you know, when you just need a few tomatoes for a sandwich, a little quick salad for work. So that's one, and as well we can bang on about growing them in small spaces, which a lot of people don't have allotments or big gardens, and that might be the only way of getting some fresh, homegrown, organic tomatoes inside them. So yeah, that's number one. Number two, is it Amalia? Now, it was the shape and the colour that got me on these. They're almost green into purpley red. And they're like a teardrop. They're almost like a teardrop shape. They're weird, a bit weird, but I think they'll be a good contrast, especially with the big ones we've got. So we're going to give them a whirl. I don't know anything about them. Just says the little beauty balances eye-catching colour. Now, obviously, I am one for the pictures, and if it looks good, I'll give it a shot. So that's one we're going to be trying. Pink Jazz, another new one. I've never even seen that one. It looks like it's quite a big one. So obviously it's going to need a little bit more time to grow. But imagine the cross section of that. I don't think I've not seen a picture of the cross section. I didn't actually look on the website. But imagine a cross section of that on a nice cheese sandwich. Bit of sourdough, nice lot of butter, maybe even a little bit of homemade mayo, bit of salt and pepper. You're onto a winner there. So yeah, that's the next one from Baker Creek. The next one after that, large barred boar. Another one. Looks very similar to something we've grown probably most years. I can't think what it was called now off the top of my head. But if it is similar, it looks like the same sort of flesh inside, same sort of colour, and it's got the same sort of green, like sort of almost like tiger stripe markings on it. And that'll be, looks like it'll be absolutely delicious, sweet, and perfect in my tomato salad. So I think we can all guess what I'm going to be doing with that one. Yes, green tomatoes. Now, I'm not a big fan of just eating them. I'll probably chuck one or two in a salad to go with the red ones just for a bit of contrast. But I'm not really like one for sitting and just eating them with salt on like some people, whatever they do. But you know, if that's going to make, or it's going to go towards my green tomato chutney. So I'm going to make a good conscious effort, probably growing about 5 or 6 of these. And even if I get them in dribs and jabs through the summer, I will freeze them. And when I come to making it sort of back end of the season, we've got plenty of green tomatoes, and I'm not faffing around trying to just get the ones that have, you know, the ones that are not going to ripen because obviously the light hours are going and stuff and the temperature's dropping. So that looks a good one for me. I don't think I've ever grown something to specifically target a green tomato. So we'll be picking them when they're like that. Chocolate Miracle, another one. So, as you can guess, this is probably one of my favourite colours, where it's got the red, the dark, and then the cross section looks like that. So just because of the picture alone, this is why we're going to grow it. So I don't know much about it. It says purple skins shimmer like truffles. Well, if it's got anything like truffles, it's a win-win for me. So it's definitely gone in the basket, and we've got it. And the last couple of tomatoes from Baker Creek, we've got Thorburns Terracotta. Didn't know anything about that one either. It was a picture that sort of got me with that one. It's a nice big variety. Looks like it'd be nice and sweet. Got nice, you see the seeds through it, so it looks easy to get the seeds and keep them, so we can keep them. Obviously, if it's any good. It had good reviews as well, so I thought, and it's been introduced in 1893 by James Thornburn. So it's been on the block for quite some time, so it's got to be all right. That's my thought anyway. So that's the next one, which we'll be sowing in the next few weeks. And this one, never grown it. I just like the name, Abe Lincoln Original. Now, it does look banging, doesn't it? Look at the red on that. I mean, the flesh inside looks good. It looks juicy. It looks like it'll be sweet. It's 80 days, it's saying, from sowing to harvesting, which isn't too bad. Renowned 1923 heirloom medium large red meaty fruit has incredible old-fashioned flavour. Slicer or a canner. Now, we love slicing. I probably won't be canning stuff. Although we do roast stuff down and make sauces and put them in the freezer so we can enjoy them through the winter. But yeah, that is another absolute banger in my opinion from looking at the reviews and looking at the pictures. So I will report back with what it tastes like later in the season. And last of all, while I've just chucked these in my drawer, when we got our polytunnel from First Tunnels, we had some seeds that was in like a little gift pack. So they're going to get sown anyway. These are Alicante. Now, we've grown them before, so we'll see how they go. Obviously, they're a little bit old now. I don't know what the date is on them. So by April 2025. So obviously it's 2026, so we'll see. We'll show you a bit of an experiment there. Will old seeds germinate? So they usually do. I mean, you can do the test of putting them in some water first, so we'll see. We'll give them a shot, and then that's it, yeah. So, the method in my madness over the last year or so has been, when we're sowing tomatoes, we used to sow anything we could. So we'd have all the usual, you know, the usual types that you can buy in the garden centres and stuff. We'd sow them all. But we just found that we didn't have the space, we didn't have enough light, the heat, there's only a couple of windowsills on the front where I can actually put some stuff. So they were just getting too full, and we had probably 40 varieties, 50 varieties of tomato. And when you're going 4 and 5 and 6 of each, it just becomes silly. So last year we set out to grow all the heirloom varieties and all the weird and wacky, wonderful varieties from seed, and then literally across the field we've got like a nursery, and we just buy all the usual types of tomatoes. I think they're about 75p a plant. So we go up there, we might spend 20 quid, and we buy all like the Shirley and the Gardener's Delight and all, you know, the little varieties, and just the common varieties that we all come to love. So we buy them. Some might say it's cheating. Who cares? But what I do find is doing that is they're all growing now. So what when we plant them, we get they usually crop way before these ones. So we get like a couple of staggered crops, because I'll go up there and I'll fill the polytunnel with all their tomatoes. We'll start harvesting them. I think we even started harvesting them the end of May, even early June. I will look back actually on that one, might put it in the comments. But we started harvesting really early, and then all these were ready later on in the season. So we had a continuous crop rather than everything just all coming at once, which obviously is a bit of a nightmare unless you've got freezer space. And even then, you can't always enjoy them fresh. You'd have to cook them anyway after that. So that's what we do here, and it saved us so much time in looking after seedlings now when the weather's like this, you know, when it's dark and gloomy. Not saying it'll work for everyone, but it definitely works for me, because I can grow more of these wacky and wonderful weird varieties and not concentrate on the ones I can just buy for 75p at the garden centre up the road. And it supports local business as well, so it's a win-win really. I will say before we go though, they sent us these zinnia purple prints. Now, I mean, the colour looks fab, doesn't it? We're going to be doing the same again this year with the regenerative gardening and growing as many flowers as we can on the plot, because last year it worked an absolute treat. The year before we didn't. It was kept to certain vegetables within one bed, and it was, to be honest with you, it was rubbish. I mean, the weather worked the best. So this year we're going to be going more flowers, 100%. I've just done a reel on Instagram about that. So more flowers. We're going to be growing more fruit and veg together, especially in the same beds and even in the polytunnels. What works but not what doesn't though. So yeah, things that complement each other in the growing. And we're going to be keeping it real. Yeah, we're going to be blogging about it, and we're going to be doing a bit more. So things are going to be... So yeah, things are going to be kicking off very soon here at Life in the Garden HQ, and we're going to be getting more and more things in the ground and so I'm going to love you and leave you. Get back to whatever you're doing and stop listening to me waffling shite over here on the tube. You are a tube. So yeah, all this will be going in soon, and we'll get some videos up and we'll start logging what we're doing, when we're sowing, and how long they actually take, because like some of these will give you rough ideas. I mean, they might take longer here, obviously with our climate over here, because some of these are from America, you know. So we'll crack on with these over the next few weeks, and it's your cue now that if you've not got your heirloom tomato varieties and chilies, get some ordered now, because there'll be a mad rush soon. And I remember one year I left it as late as possible, and I come to order and everything, most things had sold out, so I had to basically just get whatever I could. And you know, there's some of my favourite ones in here that I wanted that year, couldn't get. So I will be doing another order probably, but if I don't get any for whatever reason, there's plenty to go out here. And with me buying the ones from the garden centre up the road, we'll probably be all right anyway. So yeah, all good. So I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully not in the kitchen, unless we're doing something good. Hopefully out there when the weather's better. So yeah, behave yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.